Okay. Okay. Hello. This is Kubernetes Batch Working Group bi-weekly community meeting. Today, April 9, and this meeting will be recorded and published to the YouTube channel. So please follow the Kubernetes code of conduct. And today's agenda is we have two topics, and Mukundo. He does not exist here. So the next is multi manager class as one of the workers. Are you here, KHLM?
I see Quorum online. Yeah.
Yeah. So sorry, I was in another call. Yeah. So basically, yes, this is about actually how do we handle manager cluster as worker. Uh, so I'm saying in the upstream Slack, I saw that in the message it was written that maybe what we can have is like a manager cluster as one of the worker, and then but the thing was I was thinking how do we go about implementing it. One of the challenges like if we while remote syncing or how will we start the pipeline actually. That's the problem because uh, pipeline is or let's say a job is already there actually in the multi-cluster, and when we want to schedule it, how do we schedule it, because that field is like immutable actually, that managed by field.
So you mean the previous you mean this issue? Let me share.
Can you open that issue? Let me
Yep.
just read.
I added this link to the
Yes,
community
yes,
meeting.
yes, 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 yes. Correct. Yeah, this one.
And do you want to discuss how
Yeah, how do we?
to support?
Yes.
So if I remember correctly, previously we discussed about this one, but this was deprioritized due to no enough effort, right? So I think we can try this one in this Q0.80 cycle. Um, in that case, can you take to drive this issue? I guess we can start keep 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 design phase, and after that we
Yeah.
can start implementation.
Yes. Yeah. Basically, that's what I was thinking. I was stuck at the design phase only actually. Yeah, that's what I wanted to know. So, what are the approaches that people are comfortable with? One of the approach that I thought is like whenever a worker I'm say manager, whenever a job is accepted, maybe job should be again copied again in that manager, but with some additional name parameter or something. I'm say changing the name actually because another job already exists with the same name. So that was the phase I was stuck because otherwise what will it will entail changing an immutable field managed by field actually, but that does not make sense actually.
Mm, honestly, so I don't remember what we need for this enhancement. So I think before this kept discussions, we can summarize the direction in these issues, right? So can you post the what what the problem and what architectures for this enhancement?
Okay, you mean to say I should write in the issue? What are the approaches that I should take?
This issue. So I mean, so before cap design phase,
Okay.
we can start to reboot these discussions whether or not we can technically support this one, and we don't have any brokers for this supporting issues.
Okay. Okay. Sure. Sure. I would in this ticket actually. Maybe.
Yeah. So, do you have any objections to start supporting this enhancement?
Sorry, Yuki, did you ask me, right?
Yeah. Michał was near. Yeah. So, any
Oh, okay.
objections to support this, or can we start the discussion and the design phase in this Q0.18 cycle, or do we need to postpone this to the 0.19 or 0.20 or whatever?
I think that's reasonable issue because I don't know. It would be good to maybe clarify the use cases here, but I think one major use case is to basically have execute like most of the job on the manager, and only if you run out of the capacity on the manager, then spill over to the worker, right? So that you don't need to like keep the manager idle. Okay, so it sounds like this is also your use case. So yeah, the main complication, like technical, why we haven't done this yet is, so first of all, I think this use case is quite obvious. Why we haven't done this yet is like as it was mentioned, is the immutability of the managed by field, and it's like rather unlikely that the Kubernetes would change that one, because the ownership of the job is like, it's quite important that it stays on the same controller. Like if you change like during the lifetime of the job ownership, then all bad things can happen. Like we analyzed some of the scenarios in the core Kubernetes, because I actually worked on the managed by, and like it's really complex to prevent pod leakage, but for more complex jobs, also like jobs at the ownership of service, headless service, etc. So this is like very hard to prevent leakage of such resources if we allow mutations. So one approach indeed is to, I don't know if that's like the best, but indeed like this is also the most intuitive to me, is to create a copy of the job within the manager.
Or we might be able to store the original information to the workload or our queue specific resource.
I don't know.
To
me, like the most intuitive is just basically do what we do inside the worker cluster. So what we do for the worker cluster is just copy the job. So here we could also copy. The problem is that on the worker cluster we copy, as you said, with the same name, but here it would be name conflict. So that's one thing. But even if we solve the job name conflict, then another problem is that then it would land in the same queue, right? So it would hit multi-queue cluster queue again. So we would need to somehow solve this problem as well.
I agree with you. So the point is how to manage immutable managed by field in the manager clusters. We can discuss about that in this issue or the next meeting or whatever.
So maybe some approach is to have some multi-queue configuration to map to the another cluster queue. Basically have some mapping rules, but I don't know. Actually, here from as I'm representing Google, we have actually now a sub-team that is working and focusing on multi-queue. So I would like to like if when we have some idea for the design, I would like them to review.
So anyone attend today's meeting?
Let me check. That is Oleg Zabłocki and Karol, but I don't see them on the call today.
Okay.
But I will ping them when we have some
Okay.
ideas. I don't have currently an alternative idea, actually. This sounds like the most intuitive to me, but still not so easy. Maybe there exist some alternatives.
Can we change job name when job is created? I mean, so can Q change original job name once job is created by users for our internal mechanism? And after admission, can we create original user submitted job to the clusters in the manager clusters?
We cannot change name, but we can create copy with different name, right? That's what you mean.
Yes.
This should work in majority of cases. Maybe in some rare cases, if someone relies on the name, for example, I can imagine that someone, because the job name is also in the label, etc. So maybe if someone has some like node selectors, I don't know. But I'm wondering if this is like fully compatible, this creating different name than the user created the job with. But maybe that's the best we can have.
I see.
It should work in majority of cases, but maybe there are some rare cases where it doesn't. I don't know.
Yeah, that makes sense. Honestly, so I don't have a good idea for now.
And we actually have also Marcin on the call. I don't know if because he actually came up with the original design for MultiQ, so maybe he also has some ideas for this could be supported. I don't know. Marcin, are you maybe with?
Yeah, I'm
with us?
here.
So the problem is so how to store the original job resource when we support to run multi-queue job inside of manager clusters, because job manager by field is immutable field. So
We need to make
can,
anyway a copy, because what may happen is that the job may be switching from one cluster to another. It might be preempted, it might go elsewhere, and we need a single point in which it is being tracked in a consistent way. So you need to make a copy, and the copy will have to have a different name.
yeah.
So for now, in MultiQ, we were using the very same name on every worker cluster. But if we want to have manager cluster also working as a worker cluster, and we want to reuse the same namespace, then we need to rename the job everywhere, and basically create like a different job. That might also be like a default approach.
So as another point is, can we relax job manager by field immutability only for suspended job, similar to resource request and so some fields? Yeah, for sure. So this is long running effort, but we may be able to consider the immutability relaxing approach.
But I think what Marcin said is actually important here, that if we even relax the mutability, we shouldn't use the same object, because maybe first we scheduled on the worker, so it was working there a little bit, so we updated the job, and then we want to schedule on, like we got evicted, so we need to continue the work locally. So what this would mean is like we would, in this case, if we reuse the same job object to run on multiple clusters and get evicted in between, I think like we will override the status in weird ways. But I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, so everything is maybe so. This is why we don't support this enhancement yet. So I think the problem has 2 points. First is how to manage job resource, and the second point is we need to support fallback mechanism. I mean, so in the first admission cycle, we should try in the manager cluster, and the second phase, we need to try in the worker clusters for proposed user stories. So I guess first of all, so we can focus only on first point for how to manage job resource in manager cluster. And can we decouple the fallback enhancement to the another issue and continue discussion as another effort? So
Okay. Maybe what I want to add is maybe job is very simple, but if you look, for example, for a job set, then if we try to so currently, when we create the job set on the worker cluster, it also comes with for example, the headless service and everything. When we preempt the job, we just basically can easily delete the entire job set on the worker cluster. And then we clean up the mess from the first run before the eviction. And then we can get readmitted currently on another worker cluster and recreate, like, let's say, again, the whole job set, the headless service and everything. So we start from scratch. But if we try to mutate the managed by and run it, for example, once on the work, for example, we first run on the manager and we get evicted, but it's the same job, then we need to also clean up everything. And this is not now deletion operation as it was on the worker cluster, because on the worker cluster we just delete and everything like is cleaned up. But if it's on the manager, we cannot delete. We need to like selectively revert the job set. So we for example, we cannot delete the job set because it's created by the user. At the same time, we need to delete the headless service and everything, so that it can start from scratch. So that's why it's very tricky this way, even if we had mutability.
but so can we support so the complex behavior in our queue job set integrations? I mean, so clean up or something, right?
Maybe, but it sounds like very complex, right? Because then for every integration, we need to have like custom code to do that. And also it's quite tricky.
Mm. Yeah, additionally, so one problem for job set is when users manage job set as a queue job integrations, I guess the situation will be more complicated, right?
Yeah, but copying the job set makes it relatively easy because if we create the copy, again, we get evicted, then we just delete entire copy with the entire stack of things. So that's why
Yeah. So if users use queue job set integration for job set, but when users uses job integration for job set, what happens?
I guess
Because
also one thing I know from Quorum's work is that they are using an external framework. So I guess like it would probably the solution would also need to include multi-queue for external stuff also.
Yeah,
Is that right,
correct.
Quorum?
Yeah. That is correct. Yeah. And the thing is, maybe we can handle it, but the thing is, like in pipeline case, uh, one of the things we have noticed is like it triggers multiple job or multiple pods actually, and basically sometimes some of the customer has this requirement that if some pod is evicted, they actually use some they don't want to evict as easy, like they try to run it finally and then evict actually, and so they want to do some of the cleanup work also and then evict. So that's a challenge. Maybe that is some thing separate, but yeah. But it's like some there is a bit of overlap. Like you are saying that a job set has like multiple pods. Similarly, in pipeline run, they have like multiple pods which are consist of task run. So yeah, all challenges are same uh, there actually also.
mm,
So I mean I guess what I'm hearing is somebody will have to go ahead and design this. So I think we're probably looking for someone to take that over. I don't think this is on anyone's radar right now. So just
Yeah. Maybe I would summarize what are the approaches in the issue actually that we have discussed, and maybe the approaches that I'm thinking about whether we can take it up or not. Let's see.
yeah, thank you. So based on the summarization, so let's discuss about that. Okay, any comments for this issue? Okay, the next is additional fair sharing and DLA. Kevin, hello?
yeah, can I share real quick? I'll just
Oh, okay.
or actually you've shared it, never mind, it's fine. Or whatever. I'll go back.
Okay, I gave the permission to you.
Okay. Yeah, so we're looking at from our end enabling admission fair sharing for OpenShift, and one of the things we were also working on is DRA, and we were kind of looking at the resource weights, and one of the things that wasn't as clear to me is the resource weights, from my understanding, is that you can put a weight for like GPUs, memory, CPU, and give floats, and that weights emission. One thing we aren't sure on is whether or not, I mean, I don't think it does, like the core resource name corresponds to a DRA device, and so I filed an issue kind of thinking through some options we could take. So for as a reminder, the way DRA works for Q is we have a think down here we have a device class mapping, which is sort of what the cluster Q is based off of. And yeah, so I had, I'll share this tab. So I had a few options to kind of like think through. Basically, the goal is I would like that the emission fair sharing, like it would be nice to have a weight at the device class level, I think, so that we can still use the weights functionality, but still use it with DRA. And was kind of thinking through a couple of options that we could take for this. I wrote down three, but let me zoom in. Generally, I guess, yeah. So, am I sharing my screen? Yeah, I am. Basically, I guess to me, I think the best ones are 2 or 3. They tend to be kind of self-containing, in the emission fair sharing config. We can teach Q to know that like a resource name, if it doesn't, correspond to an extended resource, it will fall back to a device class. That makes it a little hard to follow. So I was wondering if we should include like a new field for emission fair sharing for the device class weights. And that at least, I guess, it maybe makes it a more declarative about what our intent is. So yeah.
So as far as I know, multiple device classes can have same extended resource name, right? In that case, so how
Yeah,
can
I
we
think
identify?
yeah, that's the one thing we have not yet merged the DRA work for extended resources for Q. So I have to check on what that would mean exactly. I was thinking that we could still use the weights as is for extended resources, but I'd have to check if that would actually work.
Martin?
There is a CAP 8902 that were supposed to be discussed today, which wants to introduce a map with resource names to weight mapping. Would it somehow fit into your problem?
I don't know what CAP you're talking about. Is that the one that...
on the agenda for today's meeting, there is a link to flavor aware dominant resource sharing, which in that CAP, Mukund wants to introduce per resource flavor a map that basically says how DRS is being calculated for that specific resource flavor for each of the resources available or defined. And that could be like a good place for you to define also DRA specific weights.
I don't know if we thought about putting the DRA stuff at the resource flavor level. It's a set. We have it at a config for device classes for DRA. So I don't know if, sorry, Sohan was leading this one and it's not here. Yeah, I'm not sure if we thought about DRA at the resource flavor level.
So I'm not saying that you need to go to resource flavor. I'm just saying that coincidentally for this very meeting we have another very similar problem, and it would be great if these two problems could have like a one solution, so that we don't introduce weights at some DRA class and then again the similar weights at the resource flavor level.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good point. guess I'm not sure. I mean, I guess first we'd have to make sure that that cap goes in and merges to. I know that part of why the person came was to hopefully get reviews on that one. But yeah, I guess if we're talking about weights of different resources, I think this makes sense. I think what your comment does make sense. I'll have to think a little bit more on it, I guess.
Also, this may be orthogonal. I'm just like noticing one of the comments that you said, where you can't add weights because they're a namespace resource. The other cap that I've been sort of following, I still need to see what the like current status is for admission fare sharing, Mukund's also added something where it's admission fare sharing across cluster queues. So that would be cluster scoped. Maybe that's also somehow useful for this. I'm not sure. But yeah, because that cap is also something that I probably need.
So Amy, do you mean so you want to introduce AFS semantic to the cluster queue level? So in that
Yeah,
case, we have cluster level and cluster queue level.
Yeah, I think there's an existing cap for that. It also made my Mukund. I saw some engagement the last time I checked, but I don't know like the status of that cap. Yes, let's see. Maybe it was already merged. I'll look up the link. Hold on.
You probably mean historical. Go back.
Yeah, I don't remember that. He opened the cap for the cluster queue level AFS.
Let's go back to the list of PRs. Oh, I think this is the historical
All right, I
borrower.
forgot I was one sharing, but yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You mean 9734? I don't.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because what this means is that into DRS, which is already at the scope of cohort, it introduces AFS-like historical awareness, historical usage awareness. So this way, we have basically AFS at the level of cohort.
Yeah, because today I think it's just at the local queue level. I think it might have been orthogonal. I'm not sure. I just noticed the like because it was like the namespace level for AFS.
So I guess going back to, I mean, one thing we could do for, I guess if we don't want to introduce the DRA weights, we could have the fallback to just, if like the resource names are not specified in the request for admission fare sharing, we can check if there's a device class, because like I think the string is basically the same. It's still a core resource name, and that way we don't have to explicitly add it into the API, but at least we could still add weights to the DRA. Could that be a path we take?
But this, I don't know, this still sounds a little bit weird, because what if you have the device class name with the same name as the resource name? Maybe it's like weird, but then how do you decide whether it's resource or device class name?
Yeah, I guess I need to check on the extended resources. I'll read the cap that or the implementation that Sohan has and see like what does that. I mean, yeah, the idea is that an extended resource with the DRA itself is creating the resource claim so that users are only specifying like the normal request as is. So I was thinking that the weights should work as normal in that case, but I'd have to check again.
but in the DLL specifications, multiple device classes can have same extended resource name, and in the current QDRA extended resource name integrations, we just pick up the head of device class and identify extended resource name. In that case, so if multiple device classes has different weight for the admission fee sharing, and both device classes has the same extended resource name. So are we able to just pick up the head of device class and calculate? I mean, so can we use the head of device class for the AFS weight calculations? Is it possible for our use case?
Yeah, I'd have to check. I guess it feels like there's a lot going on. So maybe the extended resources, I think I might will make sure I'll think more about it. But yeah, I think I would like to get the extended resources. Ideally, we'd want that change in so we could verify if all this stuff actually works. So maybe this one can follow up after that. And yeah, I'll do some more research on all that and see. I think maybe we're leaning towards we probably should have a separate weight for DRA, but we aren't sure if like where to put it yet. So I'll do some more research. Well, thanks everyone.
Yeah, sounds good. Yep. So the as a last topic, can we discuss about meeting time? As we discussed in the previous batch working group meeting. Let me share my screen. So based on vote, the candidate is just 1 hour later, different from the current meeting time. So do you want to just move this meeting to 1 hour later, or we might be able to keep the current time? So any opinions from community?
Yeah, 1 hour later would be great.
Yeah, I know. So Amy, you are based on Seattle, so yeah.
I mean, the
Yeah, so
community has spoken, so I think we should move it an hour.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, sounds good. Okay, so let's move the meeting to 1 hour later. So Kevin, so do you have any permission to change Google Calendar notifications?
I think you
What?
do also. If you don't, we should check on that. But yeah, we should have permissions to do that. I have to check. I always fumble through Google stuff, but yes, I think I have done it before.
Okay. In that case, let's start the cycle.
All right, I'm trying to figure out how to move it an hour later, and I'll update I'll send out an email about that.
Yeah, I guess in the first step, so we can contact the community organizers. No, not community admins. And we might need to ask how to migrate meeting time to the new slot.
I think I mean, I have the ability to cancel. I should have the ability to change the time.
Oh, really? So because I don't have any permission to change and cancel the meeting. So
Okay. Yeah.
okay. So yeah.
Yeah, maybe you can check on that one. I'll see if I can. I always forget how to do it, but I'll figure it out.
All right. So let's sync up in the offline. Okay. So anyone has any comments on the question? All right. So today, yeah, let's close this meeting. Yeah, thank you for joining this meeting. Bye.